Welcome back to Ozarks Live. I want to welcome our next guest, two multi-talented actors of television and film, Emile Hirsch and Holliday Grainger. Yes. Thanks first, Emile Hirsch, not Hirsch, for joining us today. You know, you two right, now have taken on the roles of one of the most, if not the most, infamous crime couples in American history. I would have to say, I would agree with you there. The most, Bonnie and Clyde. This is a big event coming up Sunday and Monday, simulcast on 3 networks: Lifetime, A&E, and the History Channel. I've got to ask you about what drew you to these characters, this project, the depth of the project itself.
Everything. I mean, it was one of the best scripts I'd read in ages, and Bonnie is such a complicated, like, force of a sassy character. And knowing that Bruce Beresford was directing, it was just, you know, from the get-go.
Great films, so Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about a big-time cast all around you, all of the characters. I've got to ask you, what well did you all go to be able to kind of humanize these crazed, dysfunctional people? Because you are portraying, yeah, exactly. You're portraying people like that, and around you, you have people like that just kind of feeding you.
Well, I think you've got to remember that Bonnie and Clyde were like 2 young kids. They went on this spree that got completely out of control. But you know, from the beginning, they were just a very young couple in love, living in kind of Depression era America and kind of trying to escape the mundane life that had been offered to them. And so I think that they were just 2 very human characters from the first place.
And I think Clyde was, you know, he was a thrill seeker. He enjoyed being a criminal, and he enjoyed being bad, and he liked the thrill of robbery and that lifestyle. He wanted to be a gangster. They both wanted to be famous, and he wanted to be kind of the big shot gangster John Dillinger type, who was the big shot then. But ultimately they became murderers, and it was really sad, and they were really tortured people, and they were destroyed. And despite their love for each other, they went down together. But they had to pay for what they'd done in some way.
And you know, that's part of the movie, and what's so enjoyable. This is really a character study. I mean, unlike the you know, Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway film, that's a very kind of small encapsulation. You all get to really do a character study, as well as the characters getting to know them better around you.
Yeah, well, we're really mining the psychology, and I think going back into some of the childhood scenes and the scenes with the parents, you get a lot more of a reason on how someone could become someone like that.
And how the journey started, and how it got out of control, and how it led to the tragic events that it ends with as well.
Would you say that Clyde was possibly the ultimate "I'll do anything for my girlfriend" kind of guy?
He was definitely, you know, this was someone that loved Bonnie so much, and he only had eyes for her, and he was, you know, it was literally a till death do us part relationship, and he would do anything for her.
Let me ask Holliday then, do you think that Bonnie was truly in love with Clyde, or do you think that she saw him as the meal ticket? Because I know that she wanted to be a star.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I think there's such an element of neediness and need for recognition in Bonnie that Clyde represented everything. He was kind of the bad boy that she fell in love with, and he offered her this lifestyle that was so much more exciting from the one that she was living. And therefore, through him, she got the recognition from the public, but also from him. He'd do anything for her, and therefore she would for him. And she did. She, you know, she could have escaped from that journey and not gone to prison. There was kind of no hope for Clyde. Bonnie could have escaped, but she didn't, because she wanted to stand by her man, you know, there till death do us part.
What do you think might surprise the viewers of the film itself that they might not know? Because I know much of what we do know about Bonnie and Clyde is apocryphal. What do you think you're going to bring to it that might surprise the viewers?
Well, one of the things that is actually downright shocking was that and this was recent information that came out before they had access to it for that original Arthur Penn, Warren Beatty version, was when Clyde Barrow originally went to prison just for theft, he was sexually assaulted and actually raped in jail. And he ended up killing the guy that was assaulting him in jail, in prison. And that actually was one of the things that began to turn him into a much darker person. And it really messed him up and made him insane in the head for a long, long time.
I think the motivations of the two of them, but also that as much as it's kind of a glamorized, romanticized story, it's like their life on the run was not. There was, you know, they'd camp out in campgrounds, and it really was kind of a hard, filthy, dirty life that they were living. And I think you kind of get an essence of that in the miniseries.
Well, I want to thank both of you for spending a little time with us this morning. Of course, it's going to be a great event this Sunday and Monday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Very physical movie, but a really great character study of these two people in our history. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we'll be right back to Ozarks Live after this.